Okay, so if you look at the picture that we have on the screen there, you can see this is a picture of an illustration of the digital workflow in complete denture production. Okay, so you can see we're starting with intraoral scanning, and then the design of the job, sending to the machines either for 3D printing or for milling, and then there is still a lot of curing that goes into the work, and after that there will still be some element of finishing that needs to be done by the dental technology. So you can't really eliminate the work of a dental technologist here. This is not something that a dentist or a dental assistant can effectively sit down in their office and finish, because you give them a set of equipment. Okay, before you can actually know how to use a set of equipment accurately, you need to know how to do things manually. Do you understand? You need to know how to do things manually before you actually begin to integrate the use of equipment into it. So let's see what we can achieve today before our time completely runs out. So a bit of an introduction to the fundamentals of digital dentures. Okay, so let's think about the fundamentals of digital denture. The first part will be to look at the foundations of digital dentures. So we can say that fundamentals of digital denture can be they examine the most important technical considerations that determine the workflow in the dental laboratory when designing digital dentures using digital dental systems. So to have a fundamental understanding of the how digital dentures work, you need to understand how the workflow is designed in the dental laboratory, and how it is replaced by the use of equipment and digital technologies, as opposed to the traditional way of doing things. So when it comes to designing and producing digital dentures, it is important to understand that the various technical factors that at different stages of the process. Okay, it's important that we understand the various technical factors at different stages of the process of manufacturing a digital denture, and these can actually influence how your denture is designed and how the outcome will look like. You need to have an understanding of all of the stages. Many of these details are interlinked and can affect both the design as well as the manufacturing process, and they are either implemented before or during the design workflow. So you need to have that understanding, that deep understanding of how digital workflow works, and you cannot properly understand it, and you cannot properly use it except you understand how the traditional workflow would have been and how that is replaced by digital workflows as well. So to understand this, it's important to take a look at the evolution of dental fabrications. How did we get here? This is what Macy started trying to remind us. How did we get to talking about digital dentistry, digital denture production? How did we get here? There used to be conventional workflow, what that people did. Okay, from conventional workflow, some people went hybrid. So hybrid workflow will be a system where some part of your work can be done digitally and then the rest of it is done manually. So you are hybrid and you are using, maybe you are not able to afford all the systems that are involved. So you're using part of the digital and part of the manual system until you are able to go fully digital. Okay, so this will indicate a shift in the workflow efficiency and accuracy. So the efficiency of your workflow and the accuracy of your output from when you were doing completely conventional workflow, and now you are able to do digital workflow will be a shift in the workflow efficiency and accuracy. So the efficiency of your workflow and the accuracy of your output from when you were doing completely conventional workflow, and now you are able to do digital denture production to when you have gone to complete full digital denture production, you can see a huge change in the efficiency of your work. You can also see a huge change in the accuracy of your output. So looking at a brief history of the evolution of dentures, okay, the concept of dentures can be dated back to so many centuries before, and I expect that we should have, I think these are some of the first things you will be taught in a dental school. Okay, some of the first things you'll be taught in a dental school was the history of dental technology, history of denture, history of dentistry. How were they removing teeth in the past? I've seen lots of pictures illustrating how dental extractions did happen in the past, and the first set of people who became dentists were not educated. Okay, so think about the evolution of the production of denture or manufacturing of dentures, how it can be dated back to centuries ago, as humans have always sought for ways to replace missing teeth and restore oral function. One important thing to note is that the teeth that we have in our mouth has a lot of functions, that once the tooth is lost, even if it is one, it impacts on the functions and functionality of the oral cavity. So as far back as you can imagine, humans have always thought of how to replace missing teeth and how to restore the oral function. So over time, dentures have evolved significantly, undergoing remarkable transformation in terms of the materials used, the design of dentures, and the manufacturing techniques used in the production of dentures. Okay, so if you compared your work today to the work of a dental technologist in 50 to 100 years ago, you can see a remarkable improvement. I don't know, did some of you get an opportunity to learn about the history of dental technology in school? Did some of you get an opportunity to learn about the history of dental technology, the history of dentures in school? Okay, so if you compare what you're doing now with the historical evolution of dental technology practice, would you say that there has been a significant change and improvement in the workflow? Okay, so that's what we are saying, that over time, dentures have evolved significantly, undergoing remarkable transformation in terms of the materials used in the production, the designs of dentures, and the manufacturing techniques used in the denture. So denture evolution from ancient time to modern days can be explored in more details. What I am a little bit worried about is whether we can be able to cover the milestones in in what has shaped the denture that we know today. Okay, there are a few milestones that you can actually pinpoint. Between those milestones, there are a lot of changes that went on between any two milestones, but excuse me, I think let's see how far we can get with this. I might have to skip some of this content so that I go into the digital production of dentures. Okay, so ancient remedies used in denture production. So the earliest form of dentures, these are things that we might refer to the ancient remedies. When someone loses their tooth or the tooth is broken, you can see that ancient civilizations such as in Egypt, China, and Rome, people devised various methods to replace missing teeth. Okay, and you know that some of the things that we are enjoying today were discovered by accident. However, a lot of people, if you think about it so many years ago, how people would feel if they lost their tooth, people would do a lot of things to want to see if they can actually replace a missing tooth. These early steps of denture involves using materials like animal teeth, okay, People would try to use animal teeth to replace teeth that they lost. People try to use human teeth, okay, the teeth that fell off from someone else, use it to do for someone else, or the teeth that they can extract from dead people and use it. People still do that now, where the gold teeth that people, some people who feel they are rich put some gold teeth in their mouth. Or if someone is a Muslim, I think if you go to Hajj, if you go to Hajj, if you're a Muslim, you get a gold teeth. I don't know whether that's a law that anybody that attends Hajj will get a gold teeth, or just people just do it by choice. So I've watched videos where, if someone in those days when people carried guns and did street shooting, like two men will stand, one will stand to the right, the other one to the left, and they say who is the fastest shooter, just to kill themselves, and then they will shoot and the other person dies. Sometimes you see people will rush and begin to steal their shoes and steal their clothes and jewelries. People actually do extract the teeth from their mouth, okay? Sometimes people can just extract, if they have some good teeth, they will extract it from the mouth of the deceased person. So I've seen videos like that. So these earliest steps of denture involved using materials like animal teeth, human teeth, and even seashells to put in position of lost tooth. Why this looks very primitive, than there are things that we can refer to primitive dentures. They provided some base, some semblance of dental restoration. So they may not be functional, but they might be for space retainers or something like that. You don't have it, it's not there, but maybe for aesthetics or something like that. If you trimmed a seashell and put it in place of a lost tooth, maybe it will give you some reassurance that there is something there and all of that. They lacked the comfort, so they would not be comfortable. They might give you some semblance of wearing a dental restoration or wearing a denture, but you can imagine the level of discomfort that the people who had it will wear. The aesthetics will not be great, and the functionality of modern dentures, you cannot recreate that using those ancient primitive dentures. So then, if you look at the birth of modern dentures that we use now, you think as far back as the 18th century, even though we say it is modern, but again, since 18th century, people started talking about some of these modern dentures that we use now. And 18th century marked a turning point in the evolution of dentures, with significant advancement in materials and craftsmanship. Then we started having people who were actually designing these dentures, making it to look so much better than it used to be in the primitive stages of denture replacements. So we started having things like inventors and dentists who began to experiment with different materials, including ivories, porcelains, and human teeth sourced from deceased individuals. So if someone died, they would still extract that person's teeth, and they try to use that teeth to form a denture to replace the teeth of a person who is alive but have lost some part of their teeth. And then things like porcelain and all of that started coming into play, and they were just going through a lot of experimentation, and these materials allowed for more durable and aesthetic pleasing dentures than what it was in the primitive time. Okay, so you cannot compare those with some of these some of those seashells and animal teeth that people were trying to use to make their own dentures then. So in understanding a digital workflow, we need to understand how this in terms of different types of assemblies. We need to understand manufacturing processes. We need to understand the computer-aided manufacturing outputs. We need to think about the tooth library and also the control panel settings for these machineries. But if we go back to look at the evolution of digital dentistry, denture, If you look at the evolution of digital denture, again, you can think of the vulcanite and the acrylic started coming into play in the 19th century. Innovations started bringing in things like acrylic in the 19th century. The development of vulcanite, a form of hardened rubber, revolutionized the field of dentistry. So those things might not be in use now, but when they came in, they were the very best things that we had at a time. The vulcanite dentures offered improved fitting, and also they offered some comfort. They also offered affordability compared to the earlier materials that were being used in dental practices to make replacement of missing teeth. Additionally, the introduction of acrylic in the early 20th century further enhanced denture aesthetics and durability. Okay, then if you think about the age of modern dentures that we have now, we think about the advancement in technology. Even though we are crying for more technologies and all of that, but even the things that we have now are still advancement compared to the ones that people in the early 18th century, 19th century had. In fact, some of the things we have now probably did not cross their mind, or would be hallucinations if anyone started talking about them the way that I am talking about it now. So with the advent of advanced dental technology in the 20th century, denture fabrication became more precise and personalized. So it's no longer things that they did casually and anything to fit and cover the teeth where it is lost. Now, dental technologists are able, since the 20th century, are able to personalize dentures, take impressions and make sure that it fits properly and actually matches to the remaining teeth in the mouth of a person, matches the color of the person, the color of the teeth that are there. Some of these things revolutionized the production of denture in dentistry. Okay, so we're now talking about more advanced techniques, such as the computer-aided designs and the computer-aided manufacturing systems and the 3D printing machines, which have revolutionized again to another level the denture manufacturing processes, allowing for customized, highly accurate dentures that fit seamlessly into the patient's mouth. Again, if you compare these ones with the ones that we traditionally did, which were again on their own a major advancement from what we had in the primitive times, then you can see the trajectory of movement and evolution of denture production to a point now that we are beginning to imagine what the future would look like with this level of evolution. We have things like implant supported dentures, which is again a game changer in terms of innovation. So recently, in recent years, there has been implant-supported dentures which have emerged as groundbreaking solutions for individuals seeking enhanced stability and functionality in their mouth. So people no longer just want the removable dentures, right? They now want permanent dentures, the one that you need to insert implant within the teeth, and then that holds the denture. It's not everybody that is comfortable with the possibility of their teeth flying off their mouth when they are talking. I've seen videos of people talking and their denture just came off. I've seen video of people struggling to pull their teeth out, pull it back again, and all of that. So a lot of people would go for the option of having permanent dentures, and these are implant supported, where the implant is inserted within the dental arch, and then the denture is fitted to the implant, and then the person just carries it on. You never, if they don't tell you, you probably would never know that this person is wearing a denture. So by integrating dental implants into the jaw bones, implant-supported dentures offer a more secure and natural feel. This natural feel will allow for improved chewing efficiency and speech. because you are not afraid of the thing falling off your mouth and all of that. It is a kind of cemented. It feels like you have your you have your natural teeth back, even though it is implanted within your mouth. Okay, so dental implantology again is another game changer in the production of dentures. So the future of denture advancements on the horizon, thinking about that, as technology continues to evolve, we have said that the future of dentures look very, very promising. Researchers are continuously exploring new materials such as flexible polymers that provide greater comfort and durability. And we have talked about nanotechnologies, which may even cause, we might get to a point where we discover some form of nanotechnology that we can use to even regrow the broken part of the teeth, or regrow the tooth completely, and prevent us from even wearing things that are artificially manufactured completely. So additionally, there are enhancements in regenerative medicine which may lead to the development of biological teeth replacement, reducing the need for removable dentures altogether. This is what I have just explained to you, that a time is coming when if any one of us want to prove me right, hang around in this world for the next 100 years, you see that what we are saying is actually right. The cultural significance of dentures. So why do people actually need to wear dentures? Why did people need to wear dentures? What's the cultural significance of dentures? So we said that dentures have not only played a significant role in restoring oral functions, but also carries cultural significance throughout history. Okay, I have mentioned that when people wear gold teeth, which is like gold crowns and all of that, it is significant. The one I know is that some people do it because they are rich. They want to show off the amount of wealth that they have. They could use diamonds to make some teeth and add to their dentition, or to cover their natural teeth, or they make some gold teeth to add. But also I have seen people doing it for religious reasons. What I don't know is whether it is a requirement of attending Hajj that you have to wear a gold teeth, or people do it as a souvenir for themselves. I remember I've been on holiday to places where I actually had to get myself a souvenir that I use to remember. I have a very significant souvenir here on my desk. That souvenir has been about 11 years old. I got it from Malaysia when I visited Penang Hill. Okay, so people can take souvenir with gold teeth, gold crown and all of that. So there has been different kinds of symbolism and significance that is attached to denture, so you know the importance of the work that you are doing as a technologist in the production of dentures. So in many societies, a full set of teeth is seen as a symbol of beauty and social status. So for you to have all your teeth together, again, of course, it's seen as a symbol of beauty. If you don't believe it's a symbol of beauty, look at the facial symmetry of people that are edentulous. So when you look at an edentulous patient, you can see how depressed their facial symmetry would look, because the teeth that is supposed to sit in there to maintain the face, the facial symmetry is no longer there, and again it affects their ability to eat certain kind of food and all of that. So having full set of teeth is a symbol of beauty and social status, at least in certain places or to certain class of people. So the desire to replace missing teeth then with dentures has been driven not only by practical need, but also by desires to maintain a certain appearance and social standard. I have seen people come in the clinic because they accidentally lost their teeth. In fact, there is one man that I'm still thinking in my head. He accidentally lost his tooth, went straight to the clinic, and he needed denture replacement the same day. He said, He left his house with his full set of teeth. He didn't want to go back with some teeth missing from his mouth. But as at the time I'm talking about, I don't think it was actually possible. I think he probably got some space retainers to just put there, not to chew with it or do anything, but just so that people, to camouflage that he lost his teeth on the way. Okay, so these are things that it's either he lost his tooth or his denture was broken, his denture damaged, or he lost his denture. So that gap, he wanted it filled back. He didn't want anyone to notice that something had happened to his teeth. So what are we saying? People want to replace their teeth not just because of functionality, but also for aesthetics and for cultural status. So World Wars also has some impact on denture development. It says that the two World Wars, which is the First World War and the Second World War, which happened within the 20th century, had profound impact on denture development. During wartime, denture professionals faced an increased demand for dentures due to injuries caused by cost sustained on the battlefield. Okay, so when people sustain injuries, people were losing arms. A lot of prosthetics that people use now are as a result of losing limbs during the war and all of those injuries that people sustain. So the need to have some denture replacement became very, very high during the war times. So during wartime, dental professionals faced an increased demand for dentures due to injuries sustained during on the field, and this surge in demand led to further advancement in denture materials and techniques as dentists strived to provide efficient and durable solutions for soldiers and civilians alike. So this high demand for dentures led to, again, another significant improvement in the kind of materials that were used and the durability of those materials and the aesthetics as well. So they really made a lot of impact. And the role of the dentures in aging population. Now, we know that people are living much longer than they used to be. Life expectancy in so many places have significantly increased. So it is important for us to understand the impact of increased life expectancy in relation to maintaining healthy oral health. So the longer the people live, the longer they're going to need, the longer they're going to need support. The longer they're going to need support. So the longer people need live with their teeth, the more support they are going to need, and the older people get, the more likely they are to lose some of their teeth. And once that happens, then there will be more need for them to have those dentures. If you have ever been in a country where people lived in residential care, like homes for the old people, as people age, you see more people wearing dentures because of functionality and aesthetics and all of that. So with age, natural teeth may become very, very weak. It may become decayed, it may become lost, necessitating the use of dentures as means of restoring oral function and improved quality of life. Okay, so if you are into geriatric dentistry, which most dental technologists would be anyway, because you have more denture for old people. So in geriatric dentistry, again, there is the problem of quality of life when people do not have a complete set of denture, or at least a good number of teeth for functionality in their mouth. So dentures allow older individuals to ensure or enjoy a balanced diet, to speak clearly and to maintain social interaction, contributing to their overall well-being. I remember when we were younger, during the time when we used to lose the deciduous tooth from the mouth, if you have lost some of your deciduous teeth, they will begin to make fun of you. Our older uncles and brothers then will begin to make fun of us, and one of the things they will do is to ask you to pronounce some words that they know you will not be able to pronounce as long as you have certain number of teeth missing from your mouth, and they will just be making jest of you. It was a little bit fun then, but that was what it is. So think about having communication and conversation with someone who has lost some of their teeth. Again, the pronunciation, the social aspect of their life will be affected significantly by the loss of some of those systems. So as people get older, the need for replacement of denture becomes very, very advanced, and these things should now begin to stimulate you to think about the reason why we actually talk about digital dentistry and how this can help us to keep up with the demands of dental work, dentures in our laboratories and our clinics. So despite the numerous benefits of dentures, there are common concerns and misconceptions that surround the use of dentures. Okay, there are a lot of misconceptions, there are a lot of concerns. I have worked with a team that is leading mouth care in care homes, okay, where you have older people, and some of the concerns that we have again is the way that dentures are maintained within these care homes for the elderly people, for people who have dementia and all of that. There are different diseases that are associated with improper use of denture. We have oral stomatitis, denture stomatitis, okay, again is there, which is a fungal disease that can be as a result of poorly maintained denture and all of that. So there are some concerns, and there are as well as advantages to the use of dentures. So in terms of speaking and eating, again, some people have concerns about their denture falling off while they're eating. So especially if they started using the denture newly, or if they're in the public. Like I said, I've seen some embarrassing videos of people speaking and their denture did embarrassingly come off their mouth, which again it's not very healthy to see that someone's denture falls off their mouth, or maybe you are in a restaurant with your colleagues to eat, and for some reason your denture decides to get stuck on the food you are eating, and you now have to maybe pull the denture away from the cake that you are trying to bite or something like that. That could be some embarrassment. So there are a bit of a concern to the use of denture. However, advancement in denture technology allow with proper fitting and maintenance, greatly reducing the risk of such incidences. So with the level of advancements that we have now, we can actually properly fit a denture with minimal disturbance, and the patient can actually use the denture without really having to be self-conscious in terms of whether they are going to face any form of embarrassment when they go out or not. So to address some of these concerns in the use of dentures, and also some misconceptions that people have in the use of dentures, we know that another misconception is that dentures require significant lifestyle adjustment. You as technologists, you might not know what people, you might be familiar with what people say, so many things that people say which are misconceptions, and I would like to ask you to think about one misconception of the use of denture that you know, so that you can share it with us. Okay, think about one misconception, one thing that people have said about denture that you feel like, whoa, who told you that? That's not true. Okay, so while there are many other slight adjustments that you can do from time to time, periodically, in terms of your denture, again, denture, we've talked about implant supported dentures. Dentures can actually be fitted in such a way that people will not really know that someone is actually using denture. Proper denture care is also very important. Regular dental checkups are also very important and essential for maintaining oral health and also for extending the lifespan of the denture. Now, I told you I've worked in care homes where you have people who actually do not maintain their denture at all. When we go for inspection, for oral health inspection and training of staff who work in care home, who have the direct access to look after these residents, we try to teach them how to maintain the oral cavity of this of their residents, including denture care, which is a very important thing. A lot of people don't even know that you should remove your how often you should remove the denture from the mouth and how to store the denture and all of that. So I want us to think about and relate back to us one misconception in the use of denture that you have heard, which you would like to share with us.